Welcome back to Kiesel News, everybody. To start today off, we have some news from the leaker Midori, who claims that there's a project at Nintendo with the codename Silver Star in development, and that Mario Odyssey was codenamed Red Star. Now, people are saying that this could mean Odyssey 2 is in development, and it very well could be, but I don't think that that is what Silver Star means, as if the red part means Mario, silver would likely equal another character, and I can't think of a character in the Mario franchise that's silver off the top of my head. Aside from like Metal Mario, but they're not going to do a Metal Mario game. Interestingly, though, silver stars themselves do appear in both Mario 64 and Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. So maybe this implies that a Mario Galaxy 3 is in development, or something to do with Mario 64. Mario 64, it has been seeing a resurgence with all the speed running and the new mod that just came out. So, you know what? Maybe we are getting something new. Or the most likely scenario, this means nothing at all. Next up, we have news that Chris Mundy, the writer of Ozark, and Damon Lindelof, who was going to write the Rey movie originally for Star Wars, along with writing Lost and Watchmen, is writing the new Green Lantern series. Now, I don't give a fuck about Green Lantern, but I have to say, these writers sound both really good and also concerning at the same time. Particularly Ozark, because I loved the first 3.5 seasons of Ozark, but the last half there of season 4, man, fucking sucked, man. Terrible. So, if that's anything to go by, we're in for a really good series until the ending. However, if this series is gonna have a similar tone to Ozark and Watchmen, then I think it might actually be worth looking out for. Honestly, has me more intrigued than a lot of Marvel projects right now. Next up, we have George Lucas stating that he thinks the new Star Wars projects made by Disney have a lot of talent, great ideas, and production. I would assume he's mostly talking about The Mandalorian here, as not even just because I think Mandalorian is most in line with what he would make, it's just that that's the only project that we've really seen him like actively on set for is Mandalorian. Like I can't picture him on the sequel set and being like, "Oh yeah, I love this." Any one of those anti-woke channels, though, that expected him to be like, "Oh yeah, fuck all of Disney Star Wars, they shit on my legacy." Like, if anyone expected him to actually go that far for any of the projects, you're just delusional. Next up, we have a top 10 list of the A-list movie stars in Hollywood that are the 10 most popular currently. And I think overall, it's pretty accurate. I've heard of every single one of these actors, and they're all in projects that are very popular today. Selfishly, I do think that there are people who should be up here that aren't, such as Julia Garner, for example, as she was in Ozark and played a phenomenal role there, and she's been in a whole bunch of smaller projects since then. I'm sure once she's in a Marvel movie, though, that'll up her credibility in terms of the public. Speaking of Marvel movies, though, I find it interesting how, compared to, let's say, 2019 when Marvel was at their peak, none of these actors are really in Marvel aside from Florence Pugh and Zendaya. I think this is proof that Marvel is kind of leaving the movie zeitgeist in some way. Obviously, their movies are still big, but, you know. I also find it funny how Zendaya is at the top when Tom Holland is nowhere to be seen, because it almost seems like Zendaya got the bigger career at the end of the day for being a supporting character in Spider-Man, more so than the main lead did. Also, no disrespect, but I think Glenn Powell, Jacob Elrodi, and Paul Mescal should be closer to the bottom, as compared to the rest of these people, I think their shows are more niche. I know Austin Butler was at least in The Bear, which is really, really big, but Glenn Powell, he was just in Anyone But You, really. That's the only one I can think of, and that new movie that's coming out. I don't think that really quantifies him as a top actor of this generation. Same with Paul Mescal, as really, he hasn't really been in anything yet that I can recall. I believe he was in an Oscar-nominated film, and he is set to be in Gladiator 2, but I don't think an Oscar alone can quantify him as popular either, especially when essentially all of these people have also been nominated for Oscars or a similar award. The bottom 5 names, though, I really, really agree with. I first saw Jenna Ortega in Richie Rich back in like 2015, and she has just excelled since then. Anya Taylor-Joy also gets helped out, I think, by covering both a huge live-action movie and a huge animated movie. And Timothy Chalamet is just in everything. Same with Sydney Sweeney at this point. So, all in all, a pretty good list, although I would make some changes. Next up, we have the reveal of the title of the next Doom game, which is Doom: The Dark Ages, reportedly. As you can probably tell by the name, it's going to be taking place in a medieval environment, which is certainly a very interesting direction for Doom to take, but also one that fits the series very well. I should also mention that it's rumored that it's going to come to both Xbox and PlayStation, which just gives you a reason to not support Xbox yet again, even though they're the ones who are going to reveal it. Next up, Lethal Company is in Fortnite. This is actually really fucking cool. The fact that they were able to get Lethal Company this quick. Because if you think about it, Lethal Company only popped off like 2-3 months ago at this point, and now it's already in Fortnite. I can't think of a time that a crossover was able to happen in that fast of a time. Also makes me wonder what the next indie game could possibly be. Maybe Donkey can get something from Animal Well in? I doubt it, but that'd be interesting. Alright, so apparently Joe Biden is gonna hire a meme manager, and they're willing to pay $85,000 just for that. Now, I would assume that 85 grand is coming out of his election promotion pocket, if anything, because the memes would likely be used as a marketing tool. Like, oh my god, funny Joe Biden meme, we should vote for him. But, like, I don't know. There's always memes around the election. It always happens. But they happen organically. If Joe Biden wants memes, he just has to make some mistakes. He just has to do some blunders during his campaign, and then the memes will happen naturally, and he doesn't have to pay anybody. If he's gonna pay for memes, it's gonna feel really forced. In order to make the comments not too political, if I even get any comments, I'll shit on Trump instead of just shitting on Biden. He is trying to have a movie called The Apprentice blocked from releasing, even though it basically just seems like a low-budget shitpost. It says that it's gonna show him using amphetamines to lose weight. He's gonna undergo liposuction and plastic surgery. So he's basically just getting mad at people calling him ugly and fat. The movie does also depict him as raping his first wife, so I could see his anger there, but I don't think anyone would take it seriously if they saw the context of the rest of the movie. I'm sure this is going to be a huge shitpost. If you want to talk about Trump versus Biden in the comments, keep it related to these stories. Which one do you think is more ridiculous? Which one do you think is more of a waste of time and money? Honestly, if Joe Biden was smart, he could make some memes by utilizing this movie. Next up, we just have a quick story that Rahul Kohli was originally going to be Mr. Fantastic before Pedro Pascal was cast. Now, I don't know Rahul Kohli's roles very well. I just know that he was in Red vs. Blue as a gender bent version of Tex in one single episode of season 14. And just the fact that we could have had a Red vs. Blue actor as Mr. Fantastic was very funny to me. Lastly, I just want to pay my respects to Kabasu, the Doge meme dog, who passed away at 18 years old. The Doge meme is one of those classic memes that still puts a smile on my face to this day. It was around during the MLG and all that shit, and the MLG is just so not funny anymore, but Doge is classic. It never goes away. Rest in peace, Kabasu. You will forever be remembered. And don't worry, we'll forget about the Dogecoin part of your history. There's no way you were okay with that.